Greetings and welcome to our educational round at Sinclair. We're glad that you all decided to join us today. I'm Jim Ellermeyer. I'm a behavioral health therapist here at Sinclair, and on my left is...
My name's Sarah Sweeney. I'm a physician assistant student.
And my right?
My name's Anna Mortzfeld, and I'm also a physician assistant student.
Wonderful, wonderful. And today what we're going to be talking about is how food affects your mood, how food affects your mind, body, and spirit. When people talk about the American diet, Sarah, what comes to your mind?
Processed food. A lot of food that you are buying that isn't fresh. A lot of fast food. Things that aren't so healthy for you.
Sure, sure. And tell me, Anna, when you go to the grocery store, do you look at the labels?
Not very much.
Well, if you do, you might want to take a chemistry professor with you to explain all the added ingredients. However, today what we're going to be talking about is food and mood, and one question folks may want to ask themselves is to whether you eat to live or whether we live to eat. Food is also associated with many types of depression, many types of anxiety, and one of the most common additives in the American diet is sugar. Anna, why do you think they put sugar in many foods?
Well, the way our bodies work, our sugar kind of helps us to crave something more after we eat it.
Right, so what you're telling us is that the sugar is an additive in foods that basically sugar can be addictive.
Yes.
And if something tastes good, you eat more of it.
Right.
Right. And talk a little bit about advertising. One of Dr. Chaudhry's premises is that if a company has to spend hundreds of $millions to convince you to buy something, perhaps it may not be worth buying. Did either of you see a billboard for broccoli on the way in?
No.
Or spinach?
Not at all.
No, they're not out there. So perhaps, Sarah, you could show us a little bit of what we have in this little visual aid that we have here today.
Okay, we have many different bottle drinks that are provided in the stores, and which ones are showing the amount of sugar. So we have the vitamin water, which is advertised as vitamin water, and it actually contains the 32 grams of sugar. And if you can see, we kind of have a visual display of the amount of sugar within the bottle. And then next we have the Frappuccino, the Starbucks Frappuccino, the coffee and drink, and that is containing the 46 grams of sugar. And then we have Gold Peak tea, which is sweet tea, and it contains 48 grams of sugar. We have Ocean Spray cranberry juice, which contains 53 grams of sugar. And then also at the top we have 77 grams of sugar, which is contained in a serving size, which is an 8 fluid ounce of Mountain Dew. And there's actually 2.5 serving sizes within this, so you would multiply that.
So what we're talking about, basically the American diet, is sugar, caffeine, white flour, artificial food, junk food. Anna, how can people be overweight and still be malnourished?
Well, you can be overweight due to eating a lot of fats and sugars, but at the same time, you're not getting the right nutrients like the vitamins you need and the proper good fats, which are like the unsaturated fats.
Sure. And perhaps some of you may be acquainted with what's called the Mediterranean diet. And the American diet, with the excess sugar, salt, fat, protein, lack of fiber, vitamins, minerals of junk and processed foods, are major contributors in the United States to heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and chronic fatigue. So one of the things that we generally look at as a Sinclair is to take a holistic mind, body, spirit approach to a person. When a person comes in with presentations of anxiety, depression, mood disorders, we generally like to ask them many other questions, such as their nutritional habits, such as their sleep patterns, and food can all affect these. How many times have your mothers told you that breakfast is the most important most important meal of the day?
Every day.
And I'm going to ask the viewers today, the listeners, to ask themselves, how many of you had your breakfast this morning? And you may want to answer that question. So, well, tell me some of the things that are lacking in the American diet that perhaps we could add.
One of them is whole grains. I think people use white flour too much, while you can substitute that with brown rice or the good whole grains like nuts and seeds and stuff like that.
Sure. And many of the processed foods that you see out there are white rice, white bread, and look at the white rice has less than 30% of the nutritional value of brown rice. And if you pick up a package of white bread in the grocery store, the first thing that they will list the ingredient, enriched white flour. And why would flour need to be enriched?
Because of the processing?
The processing strips it of all the nutrients and the vitamins and the minerals that are in a store. So one of the things, and this is certainly a multi-billion-dollar industry in the United States, is if people don't think that they eat right, then they'll take vitamins, they'll take supplements, and many of these are also formulated in a laboratory. They're artificial in chemicals, and basically I know for myself a number of years ago I decided that I was no longer going to be a scientific experiment of people. One of the things that I've learned here at Sinclair is that a lot of the vitamins that you take, one of the things that you can do at home to know whether that particular vitamin or capsule is actually being dissolved in your body is to take a small saucer, place that tablet in it, and cover it with white vinegar. And if it does not dissolve in 20 minutes, it is not dissolving in your body also. So that may be something that you want to look at. One of the things that we deal with at Sinclair is mindful eating. Where do most people eat their dinner today?
In front of the TV.
In front of the television. And Anna, have you ever been busy busy day in management? Have you ever eaten a meal and didn't really taste any of it?
Yeah.
Who doesn't? So where you might want to look at, where are you eating your meal? Are you sitting in your easy chair watching TV while you're eating with it in your lap, while you're maybe reading the newspaper, opening envelopes, petting the dog, arguing with your children, doodling with your phone? And how often do you actually get to sit and enjoy your meal? How often do you eat mindfully and smell the smells and taste the savor, the flavor of the food, the texture of it in your mouth? I'm sure that both of your parents or grandparents, Thanksgiving dinner, Easter dinner, how long do they work on those things? How long do those things take to prepare?
All day.
Yeah,
maybe the day before.
And how long does it take to eat it?
Not very long at all. Half hour.
Sure. So one of the things that we suggest at Sinclair here is a little bit more mindful eating. And have you ever eaten and then maybe about half an hour, 45 minutes later, you felt like there was a rock in your stomach?
Yeah.
And what the idea of mindful eating and the idea of chewing slowly is that it takes at least 25 minutes to half an hour once the stomach becomes full for all those messages to reach your brain to tell you it's full. So what often we do is we gorge ourselves. How many of you eat late at night? How many of you folks out there eat later in the evening? What about you, Anna?
Depends on when I get home.
Sure. Sarah?
Depends if I have to stay up later.
Sure. And a lot of times we deal with people with disturbed sleep patterns, and one of the things we'll ask them is what time do you eat and sometimes a person will only have one meal a day, and that one meal a day may occur later in the evening, and by then your body's in starvation mode, and it's asking you for more and more and more. Well, your stomach does not sleep, and even though you may be trying to get to sleep, your stomach is still digesting that food, which requires your brain to be active to keep it going. So tell me a little bit more about some of the things that you've prepared for today, Sarah.
Okay, well, we were looking into specific foods that can help with mood and different things with the brain. So I was going to talk about specific foods. So to begin, broccoli, which is considered a superfood for the whole body, and it is rich in vitamins B, C, and K. It can help keep your blood flowing well, and which can help the blood flow in your brain. We also have red cabbage, and it has powerful antioxidants in it that can benefit both the brain and the heart. Another is rosemary. It is said to improve memory and cognitive function with its scents alone. It is also seen to improve the blood flow to the brain and improve your mood and act again as an antioxidant. Another thing is spinach. It is said to prevent or delay dementia, and the nutrients within the spinach can prevent damage to different DNA and cancer cell growth or tumor growth.
I see dark chocolate on your list.
Oh yes, dark chocolate. It can improve the blood vessel function and improve cognitive function and memory. It also improves mood and can ease pain and is also full of antioxidants. But like anything, it's in moderation.
Sure. So could either of you tell me what the difference is between organic and non-organic produce?
Yes, organic is something that if it's like a meat, it means the animal was allowed to be free range. They're allowed to eat natural things like grass or hay, while an animal that's not organic would be something that's fed with hormones to produce them to have more meat, but not necessarily, that's not natural for them. So technically organic means you're getting something that's pure, while non-organic would be something that is more human interfered.
Sure, and when we speak of human interference, particularly in agriculture and produce, we're talking about pesticides. So the pesticides not only get sprayed on the produce, it also seeps into the groundwater and comes up through the roots. So you can wash that produce as much as you can. Get a scrub brush, get spick and span and scrub it. However, you're not going to get those pesticides out of it, which can cause just a tremendous amount of disruption in your body. So could you tell me a little bit about the blueberries and the...
Yes. So blueberries especially, but also prunes, raisins, blackberries, strawberries, they're all, if organic, they can help protect the brain from oxidative stress, which just means when your body gets stressed, it actually can damage cells. And by eating these fruits, you can actually reduce some conditions like Alzheimer's or dementia later in life. And they actually have done some studies, and they've seen that in rats, it can help improve learning and motor skills. And you just need 1 cup of these fruits a day.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I remember that when I was younger, margarine was supposed to be the healthy substitute for butter. Okay? And a few years ago, I found out that margarine is 1 molecule away removed from plastic. The question that I raised was, in my lifetime, I've probably eaten a swimming pool full of margarine. Can those things be reversed? And the answer is yes, they can. Yes, they can. Perhaps in one of the upcoming episodes, we'll talk about natural ways to detox your body from all of these different type of chemicals and preservatives that we have in our bodies. Any other thoughts?
Oh, I just wanted to mention, so we talked about healthy fats, and one of those is omega-3, which is a fatty acid. And this helps decrease inflammation in the body. And you can find this in wild salmon and mackerel, trout, and tuna. And you just have to eat 4 ounces maybe twice a week.
Sure, sure. Anything else, Sarah?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, we certainly appreciate you coming to Sinclair today and joining us for this educational round. And our hope is for everyone out there that you begin to invest just a bit more into your health, a bit more into your nutrition, a bit more into your mindful eating. One of the common prescription we write here is fruits, nuts, and vegetables. Unplug your television, and perhaps take up fishing.
To continue the conversation, please like us on Facebook, plus us on Google+, or follow us on Twitter under Sinclair Life. And keep an eye on any of these for our next live recording Mondays around noon to ask your own questions. You can also find this and other grand rounds on youtube.com/Sinclair video and find audio versions on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. And please visit www.sinclair.com for more about us and other articles on our great blog.
And I've been with Anna, and I've been with Sarah, and I've been with you. We'll see you next time.